Yeah, kind of a tale of two halves, right? I told our guys at halftime I didn't really recognize our team in the first 20 minutes. It's really, really hard to bring everything you have. I just think that's what makes athletics awesome, is because, like, if you don't bring your best or if you don't make it about the team, your team will suffer and you won't be nearly what you could be. And I felt like that first 20 minutes, we kind of got what we deserved. I thought they had great energy. I thought they were playing. I thought Stubblefield was fantastic. We couldn't keep him in front. And he just made plays for himself and for others, and we weren't doing much to stop it. I thought the second half we really responded well. I thought Reggie defensively kind of set a tone for us. I thought our bench was fantastic. Marley hasn't played a lot recently, and a lot of it is just learning how to be a consistent teammate and a consistent hard-working guy every day in practice. And I thought he had a good week of practice, but I was really happy with how he responded with his minutes in the second half, because I thought his pressure, I think there was a couple turnovers he was involved in where he had some really good pressure. But, Eli King's making his plays, Greyson's making his plays, Zach, different guys are making their plays. I thought our bigs were fantastic as far as just rim protecting and getting some offensive boards, but also, I think Guga got to the free throw line quite a bit tonight. But just a lot of different guys, and that's who we are. Like, we are a team that isn't dominated by one or two or three guys. That we're a team that needs everybody. And I thought that second half we were a lot more ourselves. Wasn't perfect, and it's not going to be, but I thought we were a lot more ourselves, and that's just we got to make sure we stay in that wheelhouse.
Their point guard had 15 points at halftime, and Reggie said that you told him you got him in the second half.
Yeah.
What about the response from him and maybe the team as a whole defensively in that second half?
I just thought he was a great catalyst for it, and a lot of times he is, but he's never afraid of a challenge, Reggie, and I thought he really took that as a challenge, but I thought other guys did too. I really did. I got to go back and watch the film now and see, but I just thought we kept guys in front better. Our defensive spacing was better. And they ended up with 14 offensive rebounds, but I felt like we did a pretty good job of rebounding with them. They're bigger. They're bigger and more athletic than us in a lot of ways. So, we had to really do a great job as a gang rebound team, and I thought we did a decent job of that and got the stops. We held them at 31% in the second half. So I think that says a lot. We're not a team that has necessarily been holding teams to a low percentage. We've been turning teams over. But we forced 8 in the second half, I think, and we also kept their percentage down. So that's good to see that.
So you guys didn't take your first lead until I think 2 minutes 57 seconds left.
Yeah.
How about the gutsiness? I mean, you guys did this against St. Thomas too. It seems like you guys have just a gutsiness at the end of the games. What can you to ascribe that to?
Well, you got some guys on the floor that don't like losing. I think they probably hate losing more than they like winning. Greyson won a state championship. Eli King, I think, won a state. I mean, all these guys have had great success. They've won in what they've done in the past. They're guys that like to win, and I think that matters. When you make it about winning and not about yourself, and now you got a group of guys out there making it about winning and not necessarily about yourself, then you've got something. I think this group of guys makes it about winning and not necessarily anything selfishly. And I think that's when we're at our best anyhow. So we got some guys that are good closers. 6 of 6 from the free throw line. We had our shaky moments during, but 6 of 6 to close it, which was huge.
How about missing a guy like Garrett Anderson, who obviously has a big role on both sides of the court?
And you can attribute that first 20 minutes. Garrett's got a live body. He's lively. He's an athlete. He's 6'6". He flies around. He makes plays. He's one of our leader in steals. Him and Eli are, I think, our top 2 steals guys. So we miss him and what he brings, and there was definitely that void, I thought, in the second half. And that's where, as a team, you need other guys to step in and fill in that void. And because Garrett plays with some energy and some life and that live body of his, and that second half we filled that void a little bit better, because you have to. Next man up. We can't sit and feel bad, and I hate that he's missing games. But the good thing is he's going to be back. The good thing is this could help our team as we're moving forward because guys are getting an opportunity that they maybe wouldn't have gotten. And so this could make our team better and stronger as we close this season down. So, I look forward to getting him back. It was such good information that we got about him. So, that's exciting news that it went from maybe not so exciting to really exciting. So it's just great that we're going to get him back sooner than later.
You guys kept hanging around there, kept having chances to take a lead like as the half progressed, and then Greyson finally did it for you guys. We've talked about it before, but how special is he as a guy who can kind of go downhill and give you that bucket when you really need it?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, and like he was struggling a little bit during because I think he was really they were doing a good job of walling him up, and they're big and they got a lot of size and he was kind of struggling throughout. I think at one point I saw that he had 13 points on 17 shots, right? And I thought what he did in that last few minutes was he closed it. And we kept putting the ball in his hands. And I think one of the possessions, Anthony got a nice pass into Guga maybe. But for the most part, we had the ball in Greyson's hands, and he closed the game for us.
How about Eli King? Just seems like his presence is all over the court with rebounds, deflections, everything.
He just does everything for us. He does so much. And not only that, he shows up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and works his tail off. And I just think he sets such a good tone for a senior that doesn't ever look for a reason to sit something out or make an excuse. He's just an everyday guy that no matter how that body feels, it's amazing how he's going to get that body going and show up and have a good practice. So he's a little bit of that heart and soul for us, right? And he makes a lot of plays, got some big rebounds, made a couple attacking plays to the rim late. And just, again, that closing time, he's just one of those guys that really seems to make plays.
When you guys have a first half like you did and things are a little discombobulated, can you do you point to the body of work you guys have had to say we can pretty easily turn this around? Do you ever kind of reference what you guys have already done in the locker room at all?
The only thing I said is just I didn't recognize our team, who we've been and who we are and who we're becoming. We took a step backwards in that first half. So we just addressed it with that. We didn't really say how many games we've won or where we've been or how. It's more about us and guys really continuing to buy into that. And it's not something you can just show up and it's going to happen. You have to show up and really work at being a great teammate. And you got to really work at filling voids, and you got to really work at doing all the little things and the hard things that help teams win. And sometimes it's being a great guy on the bench, bringing energy and juice. Sometimes it's being on the diving and being the first on the floor. And we had guys doing that. And I thought the second half in particular, we were a lot more us.
I know Guga struggled at the free throw line a little bit at times, but he had a layup in that 6-0 run you guys had and got to the line a lot. How good was he?
High activity. I just thought his activity was awesome. I think Josh's activity was awesome on defense. Guga's kind of that high activity on offense, and just makes plays, gets his hands on offensive rebounds, and keeps balls alive and gets to the foul line. He's got a high activity and motor, and when that motor is burning like it was tonight, he just makes plays.
You talk about the humble bus a lot, heading in on a 5-game winning streak into the weekend. How do you reset them after another emotional win?
Well, what do you got to? How many times you got to learn a lesson? Hopefully we learned a little bit about ourselves in the first half. This Denver team when I watch Denver play, number one, I really enjoy watching them play. Offensively, they're fantastic. And I think they're getting better defensively. I think that's the thing that they're probably taking a lot of pride in is their growth that they made defensively. And so that was a great win for them tonight against North Dakota State on the road. And they're one of the most efficient offenses in the country. I think they're the best transition offensive team in the country when it comes to points per possession and transition. So, we got our hands full. These guys are really good, and don't fool yourself on records and I think this league is really even, and it's a fine line between being where we are right now or having 4 wins. It's such a fine line, and so if you get caught up and worried about that stuff, I think you really lose focus on the improvement and getting better. And so we just got to we got to have a good Friday. and then get ready for a really good Denver team on Saturday. Well, let's pack the Betty.
I know this is something we touch on a lot, but turnover margin again, how much does that help in a game of this?
Yeah, I don't even know what it was tonight. What did we have?
They were pretty limited.
We had 3, so we forced 12. I think we forced 8 in the second half, which is huge. And we only had 3, so again, that's a +9. I mean, that's 9 more possessions. I mean, that's like starting the game saying, okay, we're going to get the ball 9 times to start, and then you get to play on offense. I mean, it's a pretty big stat, and it's something we've been good at. And I thought they picked us apart a little bit early, but I thought our pressure, and different guys set the tones, but I thought the pressure in the second half kind of forced some of those turnovers. And we had a few more points. I think we ended up with 10 points off turnovers. I don't think we had but 1 in the first half. So we had 9 in the second half, points off turnovers. So every one of them mattered.
Just thoughts on the game today?
It was a battle from first half to second half. We didn't know ourselves the first half for real. In that second half, we turned up. We start playing as a team, and we start playing as a family for real. And it looked amazing as soon as we came out and hit shots. The first half, we weren't hitting that many shots. In the second half, we turned up on them.
How did it feel getting kind of thrust into the starting lineup today?
It was great. Like, Coach told me a couple days before that I was going to step in for Garrett because he's hurt a little bit, and I just told him I was ready. You know, I'm a senior, and I'm cool with making that play, that adjustment. Whatever they need me to do, I'm going to do it for them.
How about the gutsiness of the team? I don't think you guys took your first lead until 2 minutes, 56 seconds left in the game. How about the gutsiness to kind of still hang around?
Yeah, we just, like I said, we fought as a team and as a family. Like, we never gave up, and we just we took play by play, and we fought the battle and won the battle.
This isn't the first time it happened. I mean, similar story against St. Thomas, and it seems like you guys just find a way to win at the end. Like, how are you guys doing that? Is that mentality? Is it style? What's going on there?
Just trusting each other for real. Like, no matter if it's offensive scoring or if it's defensive stops, like, we all trust in each other and have each other's back. If someone gets beat in the baseline or if someone misses a shot, we keep them up, keep their head up, and it's just next play mentality for real.
Coach will be happy. I asked about defense. How about the defense? As it kind of turned into a rock fight there in the second half to kind of hang on.
Oh yeah. In halftime, their starting point guard had like 15 points, and he said, "Reg, you got him." And I was like, "Bet, I'm ready. I can't wait," because I love guarding full court. And that first half, I didn't really guard full court too much, but it was fun guarding them all the way up 94 feet. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
How about I think you guys put together a 6-0 run to take the lead. Greyson started that. How is Greyson kind of a guy who or what does he do to kind of kickstart the offense? Is he just driving to the net, just willing to do it all?
Yeah, we trust him as a player, getting downhill, making the right plays, like just being that young leader on the team and knowing that he can do that. He's always going to make the right play, and we just all believe in that.
You're from Omaha. Did it feel a little extra better?
Felt great. That was my first time beating Omaha, so it felt great this year beating them.
Did you grow up watching them or anything?
Oh yeah. I went to a couple games when I was younger, but it was great finally beating them.
Are you gonna trash talk anyone back at home?
Oh yeah. I got a couple boys back home. Yep.
Good stuff. Anyone watching from back home, or I would imagine they're watching most games.
Family, most games.
That's all for me, Reggie. Thank you. Just thoughts on the game today.
I thought we came out. We didn't play our best first half, but our coaches made it clear to us that we got to start playing harder, and we came out in the second half and made the first punch. And then from there, we just fought, and then we got over that hump, and we took over from there.
How do you think Reggie did kind of thrust into the starting lineup with Garrett out?
Yeah, he did great. He brought a lot of energy, which was nice. He played very good defense and hit some open shots, which was nice.
You guys didn't take your first lead until under 3 minutes left. Something you guys have done a few times now. Yep. Is there a gutsiness to this team, like a sweat? How are you guys able to kind of pull that out at the end?
Yeah, we know. We just trust our defensive and offensive system all game, and we know if we keep trusting it, that it'll start to come our way. They started to turn the ball over a little bit more down the stretch, and we took advantage of that and then got over that hump again. Yeah.
They were pretty keyed in on you in that first half. How did you kind of take off in the second, especially in the final, closing minutes?
Yeah, I mean, some stuff opened up in the second half because we were hitting some shots some three-pointers especially, and they weren't really leaving Zach. So we were driving the ball towards his side. They couldn't really help, so it led to easy layups, and then got the bigs involved too. They were crashing hard and rolling hard and making the layups.
Do you think maybe kind of the discombobulated look in that first half, do you think that had something to do with Garrett maybe not being in the lineup?
Yeah, it felt a little bit different for sure, and we knew that it was going to be a battle and it was going to be hard without him because he's a very good player for us, so we just knew we had to keep fighting.
How impressed were you with your guys' defense in that second half as it kind of turned into a bit of a rock fight?
Yeah, we definitely picked up our defense in the second half. It really makes it easier when we force turnovers and led to offensive possessions that came easier to us.